Overall, it has been a really good past week. Today is Sunday, April 14th. It is 1:15 p.m. when I am recording this, which means that you might not get to hear this particular episode till later in the week, possibly tomorrow or maybe even later on tonight. And that's because it is sunny and 80 degrees today, so I'm going to go on my back patio and enjoy some nature. But that's neither here nor there. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to another episode of Beautiful I Am Colored. My name is Evelyn, and I am the creator of this podcast, as well as the author of the book titled Beautiful I Am Colored. And, this is the place each week that I share different insights and perspectives that I've gained throughout my week, the course of my week, to bring you inspiration, motivation, maybe even some critical thinking. And I love doing what I do. You all know I don't get paid for this. I love doing this because it gives me a chance to get things out that maybe I've been kind of just, processing on the entire week. And this is my place to kind of release information in terms of how my brain is thinking to you. Okay, so this time last year, I was out shopping. I was in Boulder, Colorado on Pearl Street. And it was a day similar to today. Very, very sunny, blue skies, but it was a little bit more crisp. So it was definitely cooler than the 80 degrees that we're experiencing today. It was more like, if I had to guess from recollection, is maybe more like 60 something degrees, but still a gorgeous day nonetheless. And the reason why I was in Boulder, Colorado on Pearl Street is because I was shopping. I had myself and my sights set on finding some gear, for the games because, the announcement got made that we were going to have, who likes to be called Coach Prime, Mr. Deion Sanders as the head coach of the football program. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know that Marlon played for CU several years ago. But we were just so happy because we were like, oh, yes, we know, Coach Prime is going to come, with that he's old school, going to do da-da-da-da, right? So I'm down there shopping. I get Marlon a couple of things. I get myself a few things, 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 6 things. And I'm like, I'm going to be ready for all the tailgating, for all the everything. So fast forward to present day. And things have changed. And things have changed for a couple of reasons. And since I started off with talking about CU, I'm going to stay right here. But actually, let me put a pin in it before I continue down this path of talking about University of Colorado Buffalo's football program. Let me just pause for a second and let's do some shout outs and thank yous. Shout outs and thank yous is a segment where I shout out a person, place, thing, or idea for which has blessed me throughout my week, or I'm proud of, or just had some type of influence on me this week. So today's shout outs and thank yous goes to number 1. The episode that you're listening to right now is episode number, guess what? 73. Can you believe it? I cannot wait till I get to episode 100 because I have to do something phenomenal. I don't know what that's going to be, but I feel like it needs to be something that is giving. And so I don't know what I'm going to get to give to a listener, but the 100th episode later this year, I have to do something. So I'm thankful for this being episode number 73. The second thing I'm thankful for is, okay, y'all know I've been playing Scrabble for a long time with Marlon. And y'all know I admitted here, not proudly, of course, that he has been really by my ass all of the games. And so I just said, just stay humble. Just stay humble. You'll get your turn. I mean, I'm pulling, y'all remember I was telling you I'm pulling vowels for all 7 letters. And, it just was not working in my favor. But something happened. And this week, I was able to score not 1, but 2 bonus rounds. Bonus opportunities. And do you know how incredibly, how can I say this? I've been playing Scrabble for a lot of years now, and I have not been able to use, I should explain bonus points. So the game Scrabble, each player starts with 7 tiles, and you keep that 7 tiles. The throughout the duration of the game to the end when the letters in the bag run out and you can't draw anymore. If a player uses all of their 7 letters on one turn, you get the points that are on the board plus 50 bonus points for using every letter, which was so exciting because I was able to do that twice. So I'm thankful for that too. Still going to remain humble and low to the ground because, anytime you start feeling yourself and getting high and mighty and you think you finna be on a winning streak or something like that, that's when you sure enough will more than likely face an obstacle and fall. So I'm going to still stay low to the ground, but I am nonetheless thankful for the Scrabble game this week. Okay, jumping back into CU. So, we're here. We're in 2024, and like I said, it's the spring. It's time for the spring football game. And last year, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to all the home games, because we have tickets, and I'm going to, all of the tailgating. And, child, I ain't going to nobody's spring game. Do you hear me? You want to know why? Sure, I'll tell you why. I don't mind being transparent with you because it's my opinion, and it's also my money and time. I'm not going to the spring game because I don't like it when I feel the perception of hustle, right? Now, I'm never mad at anybody for getting their coin, their money, increasing their investment opportunities, stretching, to attain other things. I'm not a hater in that regard. However, I do feel like emotions have been played on really high. I take full responsibility for my emotions being tapped into last year with the possibility of having a winning team. That didn't happen, of course. But this year, I'm just like, no, I'm no longer willing to be a participant at this level, at the level that I was at last year. Meaning, I'm not going to the spring game. I might go to a couple of home games, but my season ticket is going to get sold to the highest bidder for all the games for which I do not want to attend. You want to know why? Because I'm reading the signs. And this is not me being prophetic. This is not me saying anything that anybody with eyes and ears can't see and hear for themselves. And that is, I guess it's been confirmed that Coach Prime's daughter has transferred to another school, and that's fine. That's her prerogative, and I fully agree with that because another story for another time. But Boulder, I've always said, it's a certain kind of place for a certain kind of person, especially if you are a black person, and I'm going to leave that there. So, I applaud her for doing what's right on her behalf, but I also know that the 3 quote sons, are all headed on their way out next year. And to me, the writing is on the wall that this potentially, more than likely, will be Coach Prime's last season, meaning this upcoming 2024 football season, and he will make his way on to something else, whether it's support of, the sons, the family, however you want to frame it, doesn't matter. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to choose to do something different this year. And that cascades into, a more deeper conversation that I want to have with you about no longer being a willing participant in things that don't serve you. Last year, I was so excited. And you know what? It served me well. I was back at CU, which, no, I did not go there. Marlon went there. But hey, I'm being a great wife and support. Plus, I was excited to see what a black head coach could do, at a school like CU. So I'm not going to lie. I jumped on the bandwagon. And, it's unfortunate. I kind of got, my emotions tapped into and feel a little bit disappointed and let down because of so many things that I witnessed last year that I won't get into right now. But like I was saying, this cascades right into, whatever is not serving you any longer and how you get to choose to no longer be a willing participant. So for you, perhaps it's not, the CU football game and the tickets that you relinquish, because quite frankly, that is a very minuscule thing compared to some of the other major things that we go through as human beings. Nonetheless, I feel like it is an analogy, analogous towards other things that we go through as human beings, regardless of if it's, you're not living in the place that you want to live in, geographically, physically, however, spiritually even, or, your life is not, the design of your life is not playing out how you envisioned or how you thought, somebody is not treating you how you thought or how you wanted. All of these things, right? You can choose to no longer be a willing participant at the level that you have been participating in. And guess what? Nobody gets to change your mind about you changing your mind. Because as I remind you frequently on this podcast, you are always responsible and in charge of yourself. No matter if you have a partner or spouse, if you have children, if you have parents who you take, it does not matter. It does not matter. And I know that sounds like maybe it's not fair, perhaps. But a lot of times life is not fair, which is why I am encouraging you today that you can choose what you are no longer willing to be a participant of. Period. I mean, it's a short message today. And I'm just like, and you could blame it on being 46. You can blame it on whatever. I don't care. I am saying that some of this stuff has been nonsense. And if it's not serving me, why am I constantly entertaining it in the way that maybe served me better in the past or served me for a certain season and time and space? I get to change my mind. Is my point. And this is one of the examples among other things that I get to change my mind on. Now, let me tell you what really, this topic came to me, was it 4 or 5 days ago? This topic came to me about 4 or 5 days ago when I was just doing some thinking and meditating on a few things. But also what really kind of struck home with me is I was on the YouTube and I was listening to some of my people. You know, I've shared that who my people are before. Some of the people that I listen to. But for some reason, there's been these other things start to drop in my feed lately, and I don't know why. I know you can change the algorithm, so that you're not stuck in a loop by doing different searches and stuff. So I'm not sure if it was partly me, all of me, or if the algorithm just said, hey, we think you need this in your life. But that's neither here nor there. I came across this one YouTube channel, and it was titled Life on Promised View Acres. And in short, of course, I'll link the reference in the show notes today. But in short, it was about this young couple. Looks like they were college sweethearts because I only watched one episode. But they were talking about their 1-year journey, basically from, getting married to living in an apartment in the city to buying like these 21 acres in a rural area. And they cataloged all of the steps and things that they were doing. Not only that, they were also building a small business for organic juices. And I watched this thing in amazement as I said to myself, see what I'm saying? These people had no experience. And I'm telling you, they had sledgehammers breaking down stuff in the home that they didn't like. And they were just like, we're going to figure this thing out. This is not what we see today is not what it's going to be. We're going to figure this thing out. Doesn't matter that we don't know how to do something, but we got to take the action steps to get there. And of course that resonated with me, right? Because one of the big overarching things that I preach about all the time on this podcast is you have to take the action step in order to bring other things to you. And so I would encourage you, like if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration, like I just left with my mouth open and I'm like, this just goes to show you that there's more left to be done. Like, not to say that I'm going to go out and try to find 21 something acres to do. That's not what I'm saying. The point is in principle, right? And is that you can make up your mind and heart to do anything that you want to do, and you can reset your course at any point that you want to, as long as you're steadfast on what you want to do. And so that really touched me and fed into this whole concept of no longer wanting to be a willing participant. And there are some other things that I'm not going to be a willing participant on as it pertains to, professional career and, other things that I'm making adjustments on right now. But I just wanted to say, for food for thought for this week, what are some of the things that you are no longer willing to be a participant of? And that's not for you to tell me. It's rhetorical, of course. That's for you to tell yourself and for you to know yourself and then put in the proper action steps in order to bring that to fruition. Yes, I'm starting to talk fast because I already told y'all I'm going to the patio. Okay. Yeah, that is all I have to give for this week. I hope that there's been one thing that I've shared with you that has been some sort of inspiration, maybe critical thinking. Maybe it even sparked something in you to say, oh yeah, I've been wanting to change this, and why haven't I changed it? Maybe now is the time to do so. It is springtime after all. And in spring, you know what happens in spring when things start to grow back? You know, you have to trim things back, you have to cut things, you have to trim things up so they can grow back fuller and healthier. And, you know, when seasons change, sometimes we could use that, you know, as a sign that maybe it might be some things in us that need to be changed simultaneously. Okay, well, you already know what I'm about to say. Remember, the future you is waiting on you and only you. I hope to be with you again next week. And until then, I hope that everyone has an amazing week.